Okay, hi everyone, Josku here. Today I have a really good one for you. So I have this short introduction about climbing to the Legacy Showcase Challenge, and then I will have tech about the Monogreen Cloudpost list that I created, and then lastly some post-game analysis and the matchups checking. So first of all, I had this idea to have a video series about climbing to the Legacy Showcase Challenge. So starting these videos, I had 31 points, qualification points, and then I needed to grind on 3 days to 40 points. And I was thinking I will uh, stream this, but then that was I haven't done streaming before, so instead I recorded videos, and that was also really good for me in a sense that I could look back the videos later on to improve my gameplay. And my motivation to improve the gameplay is that I will be playing the same list in Bologna in coming weeks. So in 2 weeks in Italy, we will go with my friends to play this legacy tournaments there. So I wanna improve my gameplay by then. So uh, I recorded earlier in the first tournament that I played. I had a short introduction, but the audio in that time was really bad. So I thought that I would remake the video. So you can check out this complete this video to check the deck tech and then some post game analysis, or you can jump into the games. There's a lot of video content from different matchups, so feel free to check out those. But okay, let's check the deck list. So basically, this is a little bit different than the traditional Cloudpost, and when I say traditional Cloudpost, I mean the version where there is like green sun zeniths to fetch different targets, and then there is titans. This is a little bit different from that. Some lists may play the ring, some may not currently. But anyway, let's take a little bit closer look to each of the things. So first of all, we have this land base. So you have your traditional 12 post. So you have 4 cloud post, 4 glimmer post, and then stages and Vesuvas to copy the posts, cloud posts. So there you have the 12 post. Then some utility lands. As I assume that the viewers are familiar about the Cloudpost gameplay, I will not go into high details, but basically these are all different purposes and they are really efficient in what they do. And only thing that I want to highlight is this Cavern of Souls. So you can use this to get name Elf to get green mana in this deck, but what you can also do instead of elf, you can name like Scout or Eldrazi. So these are colorless creatures, but this will make them uncounterable. And especially with the colors that we are playing, if you can drop this on turn 5 and it cannot be countered, and then you have Karagas, and you can even fetch Karagas actually with the colors with this colors ability. So you fetch Karagas with it, and then next turn you can bounce the Colossus back into the hand and play it again as uncounterable spell. So if the enemy doesn't have removal for that, then every turn you can fetch one mana from your deck. So basically you can every turn, for example, get one extra cloud post or Eye of Ugin and so on. So really efficient engine in this deck. Then green sources, one fetch, 5 basic forests. I like to have a lot of basic forests, for example, against lands deck. So enemy might do so that they will start Life from the Loam and Wasteland combo. So then you need to always fetch basic lands. So having that 5 basics makes so that you can play Kolos, you can play Karn, you can play Karn into Mycosynth Gladys and so on. So you can do your game plan even if they try to lock you out with the Life from the Loam and the Wasteland. And then of course Yavimajas to I like to have two, so you can sack the first, but then you still have the second one, and Boseiju because you need to remove the Blood Moon. So basically that's the land base. So it is like a traditional Cloudpost deck list, and that's where I try to copy it from to make it. Personally, I don't own Tabernacle, so I don't play it. But if you want to play it online and if you like that card, then please go ahead. I would substitute one forest for that. Then about the enablers. So we have the traditionals and then one new ancient Stirrings. So Elvis Reclaimer, best one drop in the format. So glue of the deck, no reason to play less than 4. Once upon a time, also a glue for this deck, keeping things together, increasing consistency. So free spell is really strong ability. I wouldn't go less than 4. Really good spell to have here. Being instant and this doesn't find so well. There's only 8 creatures in the deck, so it doesn't find the win conditions so effectively. But the fact that it's a free spell and it's 2 mana, so it can play around the chalice, so you can find things. So it is really good, and I highly recommend having these in the deck. Beating Needle, it is used for the Wastelands, so this deck is soft. The Wasteland killing our imported lands, so you definitely need these. Some matchups you can side this out, but I would still keep 4 in the main. You can also use them to name something different, like Planeswalkers and other abilities. Like some combo decks are soft to pit for Beating Needles, so you can draw 2 and then you can shut down some combos completely, or at least slow down. Then Expedition Map, Crop Rotation, both filling the similar purpose here. We have a lot of utility lands, so we need to have a way to find them. Expedition Map, really good in the early game, even better in the late game. So you can get exactly that. When you have more mana, you can find exactly the land that you need to win the game or save yourself. And same with Crop Rotation, so you can either win the game with it, or you can save your life and then stabilize from there. And the Ancient Stirrings, new addition to the deck. So basically it is adding consistency. So you can play around with the numbers. You can go 4 maps, 2 Stirrings, for example, or 4 Stirrings, 2 maps, if you feel like that. Upside with this one is that it reveals colorless card. So actually, if I already jump to the next slide, so these are the win conditions and the payoffs. So basically, each of these you can see are colorless. So you can find land or you can find payoff. So that's really good when you need to dig something. So you can check 5 cards and you might find, for example, Karn from top of the deck. So that's really strong, giving consistency to the deck. We have here Wandering, of course, which is really strong engine in the deck. Being able to time walk, so you draw 3, take extra turn, take only 1 damage. Really self-explaining, really strong card. Karn, I will show the wish board, but it itself in Legacy, this is a really strong card. So stopping activated abilities, it is good, for example, against 8 cast. Then you can remove with the uptick, you can remove, for example, Chalice, 0 mana artifact on the table. And then of course we'll talk about the wish board a little bit later on. And then we have Eldrazi's, Emrakul and Ulamog, self-explaining also. But then we have also Kolos, and think of Kolos as your 5 mana Titan. So it is like a colorless 5-mana Titan in this deck. And it is 3/5 and only when enters the battlefield it will fetch 1 land. But the fact that you can find any land is really strong ability. And I want to highlight that I know that there is text after the fetch a land, but I want you to ignore the next text here. Like you might say that, hey, let's play Cascading Cataracts, but especially that you can find it with Colos. But the thing here is that I tried this out, and I did the math. So if you first of all, you need to use the Colos ability to fetch this new land, which is only tapping for 1 mana. 90% of the time, what you want to do is get 1 more Cloudpost to increase your mana. So you want to focus on the main game plan, which is winning by Emrakul and or Ulamog sometimes. And then you let's say that you actually get Cascading Cataracts, and then you have already because you need to have this tap 5 mana, and then for the activation you need 2 more, so you need 8 mana in total. So if you have already 8 mana available, why not take Cloudpost? Why not take Eye of Ugin to get next turn Emrakul or Ulamog and win the game? And the last point is that when you're using this 8 mana to do something, you are exiling 3 top of your library and you cannot control the top of your library. So you might just use 8 mana to exile 3 lands and that's it. So it might even like be 8 mana to do nothing. So for that reason, I want you to just completely ignore this text that is in the Colos here. And I know that we are playing Yekanta, and the Yekanta has this kind of ability also. But same thing here. You don't want to try to play out these together, like you don't want to combo with these two. So I have done this actually. I have had both on the battlefield, but for that to be efficient, you need to be behind ensnaring bridge, and you basically in a situation where you're already winning. So maybe that's the situation where you would want to have this ability that you would exile top 3 of your deck to find something. But you need to tap the Yekanta and you need to commit the manas to it. So it is like your life will get easier if you ignore the text here and just think of this as 5 mana 3/5 artifact, legendary artifact creature that can search for one land. And actually I will talk about this later on, but the fact that it's only 3/5 and not 6/6 like the Titan is actually sometimes an upside, but I will talk about that Rhinos matchup a little bit later. So then the sideboard, you can see the sideboard here. If we take a closer look, first of all we have the Leyline of the Void for the Graveyard Hate. So I've really started to like Leyline. It's my favorite Graveyard Hate these days. So the fact that it is like a permanent solution, and then it comes on turn 0. If you get it in the opening 7, 6, 5 even against some decks, so like against Dredge, Reanimator, that it is really efficient in what it's doing, an Oof Soul spell for example. But this is also multi-purpose card, so I will also side it in against Grixis or UR Delver. So but I will not hard mulligan for it. But if you can find it in your opening 7 against UR Delver, then you can postpone their Murktides really long time. Darcy is not doing the same things anymore, so it is only 1/1. So in that matchup, it's also really good. You are sacrificing your consistency and top decks, but I think those are the major upsides against, for example, you are Delver. So it's like we are already really good. We have really good top decks against those decks. So it's really strong play here. So yeah, I really like that as a graveyard hate. It do have 2 mana cost, so it means that we cannot play Jekanta if we side in the ley line. And but other than that, the Jekanta is really good. It is available in each game one, and really good card. Especially in this deck, you can generate 8 mana, 7 colorless, and one green, and you can cast it. So think of this as 5/5 vanilla creature for 8 mana. So from the sideboard. So really strong ability sometimes. For example, against fair decks or something like Death and Taxes. So the fact that you can generate 5/5 blocker might be really good in those kind of situations. Then we have the Wishboard for Karn. I will not go into high details here, but basically you have Graveyard Hate, Blood Moon Hate, Creature Removal or Win Condition. Mugosant Lattice, also win condition. With 10 mana, you can drop down Karn and Mugosant Lattice, and then the enemy cannot play Magic. So that's really strong. If they don't have any board, then most likely they will lose the game. One ring, I will always keep one in the side, so that makes so that you have 7 rings available in your main board from the Karns and the rings, and that increases the chance to draw 3, take 1, play new ring. So that really efficient tactic there to generate value and stay alive also in pinches, tough situations. And then Ensnaring Bridge, if you can dump your hand fast enough, then enemy cannot attack you, and blocks big creatures really easily also. And then Crucible of Worlds. This is like a colorless version of the Ramuna Excavator, so which is a 3 mana creature. You may play lands from the graveyard, and this is also tutorable with Karn, so really great. You are most likely sacking your own lands with the Elvis and crop rotations, so the fact that you can replay things is really strong. I wouldn't go without these 7. I think these are the key Wishboard cards that we need. And then 3 flex spots. I used Carpet of Flowers in the challenge. During the leagues, I also used Kozilek's Return. Idea there is that you will need to find a way to fight Magus of the Moon. So once the enemy plays down the Magus, you will have access to the red mana, and then you can cast Kozilek's Return and wipe the board. So that's the thing in there. Carpet of Flowers against the blue decks. These days, actually, Mindbreak Trap could be good card. It is a way to fight against Mind Desire decks, but also the other combo decks. But personally, I don't really like that angle of approach to the combo matchups, because we might steal one game, but it is really hard to win the whole match. You know, when enemy doesn't play around the Mindbreak Trap on game 2, they will definitely do so in game 3, and usually they win then. So for that reason, I don't personally like it. But if your meta is full of combo, then go ahead, do that one. And then last one, Whale of Summer. I will talk about more of this in the post-game analysis, but there's a lot of black and blue decks now in the meta. So for that reason, it could be really efficient to have Whale of Summer as the side card, and that's actually something that I will next be trying out with the where I'm going with the deck. So the testing still continues. But yeah, that's basically the site. So few flex spots, Wishport, and then Graveyard Hate and Yekansa. But yeah, next there is post-game analysis. So yeah, now lastly the results and the analysis of both the leagues and then the challenge games. So first of all, I had recordings of the 33 games in my dataset and then 9 challenge games. And of course there's some outliers here. For example, I played a game against Sephalit Breakfast where I was super lucky, and then the second was against Mind Desire deck, where the opponent game 1 they exiled their whole deck, and then they draw 1 to actually lose the game 1, and the game 2 I got really lucky. But I would say that those are not winnable matchups basically. So really need to consider that. But otherwise, okay data set, I would say. Based on the numbers, UP-based tempo and this kind of Dead Shadow decks, those are really now rising, and those are being. If they were before 50-50 matchup, I think it's now a little bit harder than that, as they have gotten really nice tools lately. And then there's of course Doomsday and other combo matchups that are really hard to play against. So my win percent against Doomsday is really small. Almost with this deck list I haven't won even once. But the good thing is that the Rhinos and the 8-cast matchups are much more better with this list actually. So first of all, the 8-cast, I already mentioned that the Karn is actually really good against the 8-cast, so there's that. And then against Rhinos, what I noticed that usually when game 2 begins, first of all in game 1, you can lock the game with Chasm. So they don't have a way to remove Glacial Chasm with their board on game 1. So game 2 they will bring in Blood Moons and so on. But you can sit behind, if you know that it's a or if you find out during the first few turns that okay, this is Rhinos, what you can do is you can set up the board that you can just sit behind the Chasm, and then you just need one Elvis Reclaimer, and then you can start building your board, and then they cannot do anything to it. Game 2, I've noticed that they will side in Inevitable Betrayal, so which makes them so that they can take our Ulamog or Emrakul actually from our deck, and then next turn they can, or end step they can take Emrakul and then they can attack. And there is argument that you could use Karagas to bounce it then back, but you need to then always find the Karagas to win this. So what you can actually do, I call this, I named it Inevitable Betrayal. So it means that we side out the Ulamog and Emrakul. I will show this in the gameplay that I had in the videos. But you side out these, and then only big creature that you have in the deck is the Colossus, and the Colossus is 3/5. So the enemy will side out the Crashing Foothills. Their whole combo is about now getting 3/5 out of our deck, and then it might be that they get 2/2 with that. So they will get 5 damage on board, and that's their whole combo. So and we can also then use the Karagas to bounce it back and then get the value there. So really, I have seen that this has worked wonderfully, and the numbers are also showing that I have beaten Rhinos, was it a total of 3 times? Yeah, with the same tactic. So game 1, go behind the chasm, and then game 2, when they do Inevitable Betrayal, betray them by not having good creature in your deck. So instead, they will only get 3/5 colors, and basically they are losing from that position. Because we can outgrind them when they don't have anything on the board. Deck feels consistent. That's also one thing. I have had really high win percents compared to the other versions or traditional Cloudpost that I've also played many years. So the fact, I was thinking, why is it? One thing that I came up with was that the mana costs are more evenly spread. So you have the enablers, lands, and then the big guys, but also the middle ground is 4 and 5 mana. So the Colossus, Karn, and the Wandering. So those are all 4 and 5 mana. More easier to access, but it doesn't mean that they you can get, for example, Karn with 7 mana and then play 3 mana something. So you can play, for example, Engineering Bridge. So you can also do something with 7 mana. But with the traditional Cloudpost, the higher end threats are basically Green Sunsenit and the Titan. So 6 mana and 7 mana if you want to search for the Titan. So that is maybe a little bit easier to access those 4 and 5 mana. If you resolve 4 mana ring, it is really good. 5 mana Colossus, really good, and so on. So not game winning, but those are basically the threats or the middle ground that you can then access the Emrakul and win the game from that if that's the way to win the game. And last thing, actually one motivation for me to start this recording these videos was to test out, and I took the loan from the card. So basically I took the motivation for this video series was to test out the Kozilek's return in the MTGO, and I had this loan program to loan the rings also for that, so you can try it out. It's not worth the slots, and that's because the Mono-Red Prism matchups, as seen in the gameplay, is not actually about the Chalice or the not about the Chalice nor about the Blood Moon, but actually what it's about, it is about the fast clock that they have. So if they have turn 3 kill, or if they have the initiative guy, then that's usually the game. So that's how they're winning the matchup. I have come to that understanding. So that reason it is not worth it to side in 3 Kozilek's return or Pyroclasms for 1 less mana. The idea with the Kozilek's return was that it is fetchable with the ancient steel rings basically. But yeah, that's all I have in mind. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you didn't already, go check out the games in this video series, and or if you already check out the games and this is the last video, then you are one of the true heroes here, because there's a lot of content there, a lot of recordings there, so a lot of gameplay to check. But hey, thanks for checking out this one, and have a good one. See you later.